So hi everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today my name is Beatrice Ajayi and and if you've not been here before, welcome. I am an artist based in Glasgow, Scotland area, and I love to create artwork. So today I was trying to think, what can I do? What kind of artwork can I share today? And recently I have been creating lots of still life pieces. So I thought I would break down some of that today and just chat while I'm doing it, really. And just do one of those paintings. So I've been really loving creating scenes where it's kind of like in a dining room. And then I've been bringing in some of the local scenery in my area and in Scotland into the paintings just to the side here, and basically add in some of my own quirky interests as well. So I really am interested in some of these kind of quirky chairs you get, and I love making them sort of all sorts of different colors. And then I've got these curtains coming down here, and recently I thought of the idea of making the curtains a bit more obvious, so just having a kind of gestural curtain example of folds at the top, which is quite fun. So here on my channel I do a whole load of different things. I create all sorts of different kind of art. I like to experiment with different mediums. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of that, and if you look back to some of my older videos, that's what you'll find. So I thought I would start bringing in some of my own things in my home into some of my paintings, and so that's what started this series of creating a whole load of items in my still life, and then making quite symbolic pieces in there as well. And I like to drink my tea, so this teapot came out of that interest, but then the handles on the teapot have gotten more and more exaggerated as I've gone along. So what I'm doing here is I'm just putting an outline of what I want to draw, and then after that I will go in and I will paint it with some acrylic. So quite stylistic. I've been doing this a little while now, so I'm just creating a vase here, and then I have these tulips that are going to be coming out. There's so much variety in the kind of plants I have interest in, but this one's just going to have tulips just to keep it very contained. So this is supposed to be the window here, and we look out to different scenery. That could be hills sometimes, it could be trees, all sorts of things could be going on here, sunsets, anything can happen there, but I've been keeping it very basic mostly. And then here, what I've been doing recently a lot is having the kelpies in the paintings, and the kelpies are a sculptural piece based on a local story in Scotland. And so we have some sculptures that were created by a local an artist, and they're really giant pieces. They're really cool. You should look it up. Kelpies, sculptural. They're around Falkirk area, and they are really, really beautiful. The large sculptures. So I've got this teapot here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a teacup, which I haven't done one of these for a while, so I'm just going to put that in. So now that I've got my generic kind of look, I think I want this tablecloth to have some kind of pattern on it, so I'm just gonna start doing that now. I really love sketching, and the thing is, once I start using my paint, a lot of this will probably get covered, but I put things, it's like a language that will inspire me to do something else. Once I start with the paint, hopefully I will remember to do these little patterns of like what looks like flowers on the actual painting when I start. One more thing I've almost forgotten that I like to add recently is a cupcake as well. So I'm going to add a cupcake here in this space here. So my sketch is very quick, straight to the point, and I'll just put a little frame around this to remind myself going forward. So yeah, very simple, and now we're going to get to painting. And what I have here is a wet palette that I put my paint in. So I'm just going to open that up. And this is what it looks like, quite messy in here. I've got my water that I have in a teapot, an old teapot that I use for my water. And I do have like a little palette for mixing paint on that side there. I have, okay, I think I'll use this brush. I have some other brushes here as well. Let's see. Kind of a pack of very affordable brushes I got from the local pound shop. The local pound shop, I got these. Very affordable selection, 25 pieces. All different sizes. So I'm just going to use this one as well. And I'll just get myself some tissue so that I can use for wiping off my brushes if I need to. And also put on my apron as well. So I got myself some tissue, and then I am going to use this spritzer as well, which I have, which is quite good for keeping things damp if I need to. So I can kind of spritz my palette if I need to. So I can just keep it wet. So as I said, I think I said I'm using acrylic. So I'll just get straight into it. And I want it just to be laid back, relax, play around with this. So just wet my brush there, the smaller one. And let's just get started with what I'm thinking of creating here. So I want to add, I mean, this is me just using ordinary sketchbook paper. You don't always have to gesso your paper straight away when you're using acrylic. What happens is that layer of acrylic, as it builds, tends to kind of seal the paper anyway. So just add in some of my blue and just adding in some white as well and pushing that back. So what you can do sometimes with painting that I've noticed for myself is I work in some areas, and then when those areas are drying, I go off to other areas. And then also with the color of my brush, if I want to put it into other items in the actual painting, I'll go ahead and do that. And what I've just noticed is I don't have a slimmer brush, which I probably should. So I'm thinking I'm going to take that from the pack, a much thinner brush, because I just noticed for this chair I might want something a lot slimmer. So I come in with that, and you can see that I can draw that line. I can draw that line a lot better. And I like to bring in the color in different ways around. I've never had a blue kind of a tablecloth, so let's try some of that. The thing with acrylic is you build in layers, so you don't ever think that the one you're putting down is the final one. So I'm very careful with that. This is almost like coloring in by numbers. Once you've sketched your actual image, you just fill in the areas that are around your piece. Obviously you would take more time than I'm doing. And I have so many different colors mixed in with my blue that I've got here. This was a sky blue originally, but it has like maybe some other phthalo blues and primary blues and all sorts of turquoises and things in it. So I've done this generic area. I'll let this keep drying. Just go over this edge a bit more again. So I'm trying not to use too much water as well, because that will soften the paper. So you kind of like try and not use too much, or you will make it. So I'm going to wash off my brush. I am based in my garage studio, so there is a lot of noise outside, just outside my garage door basically. So these colors I'm using are just for me to, I'm thinking of the colors all together that I want on this. So when I'm putting this down in quite a saturated way, it doesn't mean that they are the final layers. So I could always lighten this green and it would have that darker green kind of responding in the background. Though it could be hidden, but it will have a hint of it basically. So I just go on with whatever colors I'm feeling. I'm like, oh, I want to add that color, I want to add that color, but I can always go over it again in layers. And as I said, when I start putting the color down on one side, I sometimes want to carry it on in other parts of the painting. So maybe some hints of the green in the background there. As well. So I've just gone in and there's a whole mix of colors with that green on my brush, browns here on my palette. It's very messy. Let's just, so you can see here, I'm just using some of the colors on my darker areas, and I want to start pushing back some environments. So around this vase, I'm just gonna, so I don't know what you can see from the top there, but I've put this color in. I'll put some of that in that. Bring some in the shadows on the table. Sometimes it can still be wet because you can use different mediums to keep the acrylic wet, and then you can blend that way as well. So I am using that color again around. And I'll come back and go over that again. So my melons, then I'll wash my brush off. So I'm letting all these other areas dry, and now I'm gonna go into the curtains because I want that to kind of like start to stand out. But what I'm gonna do is use this brown in here. I will come back in with some other colors, but I want to see what this would look like. And then I'll pull this color in other areas again. So it's just constantly going back and forth with color usage. So right now it doesn't look very pretty, but that's fine. If you've seen some other paintings in my channel, you'll be wondering, how does she get what she get? This is really what I do. I just play around with the colors. I'm comfortable that I can cover areas up. I don't stress about anything at all. And I want to bring in some pink in here because I've been really liking that saturated look that helps the silhouette stand out quite a bit with these horses. So you keep going back and forth till you get your painting to be the way you want it to be. That's how it works. I'm thinking I want to bring in this teapot in the pink. So I'm just gonna go in here, very loose with my brush, not thinking too much about it. The handle, very free, loose. That's why I needed a smaller brush. And then let's see, the cupcake, I might do a hint of pink because that's gonna have some detail on it as well. And then I'm trying to think, right, okay, my tulips are gonna have some colors in it. So yeah, and then I'll mix some of this into the curtain as well. So that's some of the pink in the curtain as well. As I said, the more you get towards the end, the painting gets a lot tighter. But this is the beginning, and so as I said, leaving areas to dry and moving around actually helps a lot. I want to come in and make this pot more of interest. I had that design on it there, but we'll see what I end up making it look like. So just building it and just go in for it. And trying to think, right, what other colors could I mix in here? Some pinks to kind of get that. Add in some of the light areas on this now, onto my handles, the top of the pot. Some hints that might get into some areas. Let's go back again with some more pink. So you can go back and forth. I want to go in here for my wooden chopping board here and work on this a little bit. And with these two are my lemons. I've not added any yellow yet, so I'm going to go in and do that in a minute. So there'll be a lot of building layers here as well. So my lemons, I tend to end up using what looks like a green. So I'm going to let this dry. And then what I've also been doing is using a bit of a purple to make them stand out even more, because that's the complementary color kind of. So yeah, just while it's wet, you can blend things a lot better. So I'll go back and add some of the other browns to try and get this more in. So this colors are very saturated. I'm gonna go back into the green and see if I can change this green. It's very I'm not really sure about it, so I'm gonna try and lighten it probably, but I need to just check something. We'll see what happens as I go along. Unless actually I could make this tablecloth a green. Let's just see what this looks like. And you can see some of that blue coming through a little bit. Yes, and some of these paintings as well, I've just remembered I was adding cats, which I've not done in this one. I've remembered now. I like this green. I was going to put it on the actual wall, but I think I like it here. I've not done a tablecloth this color, so that's an idea. So I like that a lot. Still thinking what I'm going to do with this wall. So because I've put this green here, I'm trying to think. So I need to do a neutral color on this wall. The curtains I'm going to change, but at the moment, to make that wall neutral, I've just added some pink to that same green. I'm going to add quite a lot pink. So it's kind of like making it a brown, a beigey brown color. Pink to the same green on this table. So if I show you the pink. So I had this pink around here, it's quite a mess. And I've mixed it in with the green I was using over here. So let's see what that color looks like. It's going to be a beigey pink color. So I'm going to add that to the wall. Try not to go over too much. I like texture. So pulling that round. So you can see that that green is still in there. And I'll need to think about what color that frame will be. Sometimes I do it white, depends on the background, and sometimes I do it black. So and then in between for this chair as well. So that went, supposed to be more beige, but I'll go over this chair color again because it's, so I've done this for, and it's supposed to be a bit more beige. I might come back again. Yeah, I might come back again for that. Now I want to think about this color. I did used to use a lot of blues, but I think I want to use, I'm trying to look for an orange of sorts. This might be a brownie. Let's see if I can get some red somewhere. Trying to make it an orange for these curtains of some sort. I'm gonna have to try this color mixed and see what happens. It's not very different. Not very different at all. So, and sometimes with this as well, you can scratch into them. So I've put that color and I could just like scratch in to get the kind of lines I thought about at the beginning. So I think that's when some areas are still wet. It'll go through far into the paper. So you have different tools you can use as well to assist you in, you put the pressure on in your artwork. Just using that up on this because some of this still needs, because this is wood, so you can get lots of different textures on the wood. So I'm just gonna use whatever's left on my stick that I just scratched there. So if this is basically dried, this yellow again, I can come back in and go over it with some more yellow. I'm gonna add some more. So on this here, I'm gonna just add some of that too, and then I'll use the palette and mix a yellow so that when I put it on this, it's very bright. So with that white, because it's quite translucent yellow, but with the white, it makes it opaque, more opaque, so it will be more visible. So that's quite nice. Then what you could do is make areas of this lighter. So the way I've put that yellow there, we can come in and make some areas of the table also lighter, because like near the window, I am gonna have to make this cupcake a bit more edible looking. So it's just taking my time and building layers. So you can still see the blue peeking through, I think. And then I've added a little bit of a, because this is a shadow here, so I'm gonna make this area a bit more green in the yellow. This, because it's pink, I could put some in, and then some of the brown. So you start playing around with the shadows, and making the shadows slightly different colors so that they kind of complement the item that they're near. This cupcake, I'm trying to think what color to color that will stick out. I have a bit of red here. Oh, it's a purpley red. And then let's just go over some other areas, put some shadow in here with that same color. So it's just playing around with it all the time. It's really interesting. Some of these plants here, not really done much with up here actually. There's a lot, isn't there, when you're looking at a small painting, what you can do. I'm just gonna use some green and yellow and come in here because I want this to be like, it's a bit darker. I'm gonna use some blue, darken that a bit. And then this green area is like in shadow. And then a dry brush, you can use a dry brush and that can just look really interesting, basically. Yeah, so here with this blue, I'm gonna add some white and see what happens with that. With the green still on my brush, so I'm gonna come back in, and I've just remembered I've not put the brown that I would usually put on the window. So I've still got to come back and do that. The chair is now something I'm working on. You can see how I jump from place to place and the color travels because of that. Because I'm looking and I'm like, all right, okay, maybe I'll add some of the blue into the vase as well. Like if it's reflective and it's coming through, maybe a bit in the mug. Here, this I'm not really sure about. And what I tend to do sometimes if I'm not sure about something is I will actually really change it quite a bit actually. I am thinking that I want to remove that cupcake. It's not really working here. I'm making a mess. So if I wipe that and let it dry, I'll paint yellow over that so that I don't have to think about that. So don't think I like that cupcake. Let's just forget cupcake for now so that I can finish other areas. Just mix in a bit more of the yellow and then I'll just... So now it's given an extra kind of like translucence on that side there. Go over this slightly. You can see how it's changed. The curtain, I'm still like, but what I'm gonna do next is focus on the kettle actually and see what I can do with the kettle. So let's see. So let's try. So this flower is really struggling here because I've not got the color out that I need. So I'm gonna keep thinking about that. So the curtains, I still want to lighten the curtains a bit. So I'm gonna get some white. Go in with, can I make them a white? No, that won't work. I'm gonna go in with a wall color but a really light version. And let's see what happens if I just do some stripes down it. So I'm pushing that color back a little bit. So it's got quite a lot of texture now. And then if I go sideways, you're just playing along with it and it's just becoming something else. It's like it's building and building and I really like it. And again, I'm going to use up that remaining bit on the back of my brush for some of these areas. So what I've remembered is that there's no frame here and that's supposed to be a frame. So I'm going to come in here with an actual like window frame. I'm gonna try it. Let's see. I need to make it darker, I think. Like really dark. Because there's supposed to be a windowsill area. And let's see. just get this a bit more focused. So adding that has made it look a bit more different, but the brush is too thick. I need a thinner one. So I'm still thinking what to color these flowers here. I'm thinking maybe I want to straighten this out. So it's very haphazard. So it's very haphazard the way it all looks, but going back in, slowly building the layers again, getting in your characters. So you just take your time and work on it. So I think another thing is I need to add some green here in the vase area. See what this looks like. And pull that down so that we can see some, so that's probably changed that a little bit more. I'm gonna just do a bit more of a vase link here. It's like a whole thing. I love the greens in that actually. The horses up here, it could probably be a bit lighter. I've ended up basically using the smallest brush most of the time. Actually not. Let's just see what I can use. Just a plain pink, maybe. Oh, didn't work. But it's lighter anyway, but there's some red contamination in that. So and I'm trying to think what color to go around this with. It could be black, but I'm thinking, because it's like it needs something, but I think because the horses are actually, the kelpies are actually already black, white would be the best. So yeah, obviously this frame on that side is too much. Let's go back and put some of the wall color back. Make it smaller. And what else? So you can see how it looks now. I can go in and add some more yellow. It's going to be a lighter yellow to try and, I was going to use the yellow actually and start cutting in here a little bit over this one. So it's just, I love it. I love it. Just that whole, the colors add in, pulling it lightly across. I'm building that. I'm trying to think about this chair here and be a bit much. I think it's too shadowy, so I'm thinking I will make that a lot darker. I'll just mix some of the other colors around in it. So I'm trying to think, some green, some blue. I want it to be quite dark actually. Don't know, let's see what this looks like. So it's all wonky, but it's fine. This table I could actually also put a line around it to kind of emphasize where the table is. So there's different ways we could do this. The sky could still be a lot lighter. Just go in here and we would put some more just to define that. Yeah, and that could be it. You just basically have a piece like that. I think looking at it still, let's just add a little bit extra. Just to try and get the actual details a bit more visible. So yeah, and then this mug here didn't really get seen very well. But yeah, you would take more time on this. The curtains don't have to be like that. In fact, the curtains, I feel like I want to bring something else into the curtains. So let's see what I could bring. I like the color the way it is, but I feel like the curtains are, so I'm gonna put my kind of like stereotypical marks across the curtains just to get it to look and stand out a little bit more, which I didn't have to do, but basically you just play more and more with this and get the colors more, and you don't have to have it this color range, but the overall idea is just to play with the palette, make it moody. Yeah, so it's been a lot of fun basically playing around with that. So yeah, awesome. So I thought I would share that today, exercise my painting practice with this area that I've set up in the studio. In fact, I'll show you what the studio looks like right now. I will just take you off that kind of like a camera holder for my phone, and then we'll have a look around. So this is what the space is that I've just used looks like. Here's my mess of things I put together. I need to tidy these away. These are some garlands that I've made, and I'm still working on these ones with the string. So, and I made these out of clay. So this is my studio space. I have some items here that I've made recently that I am still kind of trying to finish off. I have some jewelry boxes that I've painted, and then some other kind of miscellaneous. I have all these pine cones that I kind of want to do some more things with, kind of autumnal items. And then I've got a whole lot of stuff. This is my badge maker that I've used to make some badges, like, let's see, like these ones here. So I use them to make like these little badges. So these are to go into my Scottish design restock. So that's what I've put there. Let's see actually. And then these are some more of my pens I have here. So this is what the studio looks like at the moment. This is where I was just filming just now for this video. So you can see my layout. And then I have my actual shop back here that I use for stocking the different products that I sell. Over here I have the wall with some of my art on it. This is another different workstations. Yeah, this is like one of the things I spent used the pine cone for. So this is like a little hedgehog. So just trying to get it to focus. And then I have some more over here. So I'll be doing some more of these with the pine cones, or some more other kind of stuff to do with the mushrooms and things. And then this is like my desktop area. I moved my chair actually that was over there. That's over there that I just used from here. So I'm thinking of using my portable chair there instead, because then it's got less, it blocks the space less. So yeah, this is the table. I've been clearing this up recently, so it's a lot more empty than it was before. So let's see what else. So I've got a lot of stuff stocked in the corner there between this big storage cupboard that I got for free on Facebook Marketplace. So that was pretty good. So I have, let's see, different things in here stocked up, like lots of papers that I can use for different artwork, and some more storage in there as well. So that's pretty good. Very handy. I'm just trying to tidy up my space a bit more, basically. Up there I have the usual stag herd up there. I'm trying to think what to do with these guys, if I'm gonna try and sell them or not. Still thinking about it. It took me a while to make them and I love them, so I'll keep thinking about that. And yeah, and this is supposed to be my sofa space. I have to take this off because these are some of my paints. I need to put the drawer back. And yeah, and then I've got this, my big painting, one of the recent ones I did, up here in the back of my sofa. It's not actually hooked onto the wall very well, so I need to sort that out. But yeah, this painting is similar to what I've been doing today, which was to create a piece that is related to our area. So this is Peel Park Stadium bandstand. Yeah, it's a bandstand, and so I've got that painted into my overall still life that you can see here with this little cat. Well, it's a big cat because it's a big painting. And then I have like my chopping board, like I just showed. Just take this away. And there's a cupcake, and this is like one of the vases I have in the house that I did kind of a rustic version of it, and then some flowers coming out of it. So instead of tulips, it's a different kind. So this is what the area looks like right now. This is all my space for working, and different projects on the go, like these little mushrooms that I created from clay, and then I've put onto this wood slice. And I'm still in the work of painting to see what I want this background to be like. But yeah, so they can be hung as an ornament on a tree, or just as art decor, a wall hanging. But yeah, just this is what the studio space looks like. I've stored my paintings that I used to have by the door back here, so that I don't have to see, like, well, they can have a space where they're a lot safer. So there's a lot of them back here. I'm prolific in my paintings, so yeah. So yeah, this is the space. Still tidying it, still trying to rearrange it, and to basically figure out how to make it more efficient. So yeah, so I will say bye to you now. I'm just gonna actually tidy up. Oh no, actually no, I'm not gonna, well, okay, I'll tidy up a little bit, like wash some of these brushes, put that away, and then I will go and have a cup of hot beverage, and then see what I'll do next in the studio. Unless I'll just have a break and then do some housework. I think that's the way I've been treating myself recently, is do a little bit of art, do some hoovering or tidying, do some more art and all the rest of it, and then so that I get myself to move, because if not I could sit here for too long and then my back would get really stiff. So yeah, this is what I've shared with you today. I hope you're doing well. Please subscribe if you've never been here before and you've never met me. Actually, I should show my face. Just a minute, I'm going to turn this around. Yeah, so this is me. Thank you for coming and watching today with me. Just play around in my sketchbook and create this piece. I really enjoyed it, actually. I wasn't sure what to share with you today, but I actually enjoyed doing that. And I want to do some more. I want to be quite relaxed in the way that I'm sharing, because I think what I get critical about myself is that I don't always start my projects and finish them straight away. So I always think that if I share them, then I don't know when I'm going to finish that project. So that's why I hardly ever share, and then usually I'm in my robe as well. I love wearing my robe. I'm very comfortable. But today I have a mishmash of jumpers and cardigans. I don't think I should show you this, but I'm sure it's 3 jumpers and some kind of like a waistcoat jumper thing. It's anyway, to keep myself warm. I like to be warm. But yes, I don't usually share projects because I think I'm not going to finish them. And then because of that, I don't share. But I think I should be sharing more, and then you can see the progress. It doesn't all happen straight away. It's not something where there's no effort basically in it. There's a lot of effort. These took me a while to do. This, I had to make the clay. I had to buy the little pot, paint the pot, order the moss. Then when they came, paint them, dry them. Well, they had to dry first, but these take time. So I can show the process, and then we can follow that journey. The more you click on, you'd see how long it's taken or what I'm working on that day. I really love these little clay pieces. Just gonna show them out to you. So this is the kind of stuff I've been doing. It takes a little while. They're clay, air dry clay. I'll just show you one more because I really like these cacti. So I don't know how clear this is, but yeah. So I thought I would share, and I hope you are doing well. Things are quite tough right now for a lot of people. A lot of incidents going on around the world, and and so we can all be full of fear and a lot of different things, but just take a day at a time. That's the best way to do it, really. So, and that's what I do. I just take a day at a time, wake up, get the kids to school, and then I have this time for myself, and I can do so many different things. And it's not about stress, but being able to do what it is you love doing, I think helps a lot. And even if it's just finding the tiniest times. There was days when they were still a lot younger and they were not at school and I couldn't have this amount of time, but now I do. So I appreciate what I have. And I know that it's not that easy for everybody. So yeah, a day at a time, whatever season or wherever you are in your life, that's all we can do, really. But yeah, I'm going to stop rambling now, but thank you for joining me. And I will have something else to share at some point again. So I'll see how I go, because my recording is not as good as it should be. I really would love to do more, but I decided I need to just be carefree. I just need to be myself and share with you whatever I'm working on that day when I share. So, but yeah, thank you so much. So I said, once again, I'm Beatrice Ajayi. Thank you for watching, and I will see you the next time I'm on YouTube. And please subscribe so that I can actually kind of adjust myself into how and what kind of stuff you love to see. I do so many different things. I illustrate books, I write, I love to do so many things, and I'd love to share all that with you, just to show how diverse you can be as a creative. You don't always have to do one thing. I would get very bored. If I only did one thing, I would get very bored, and that's me. So I like to experiment. So I call this the lab. I like to experiment with different mediums, because in doing that, they help to spur on other creativity in other areas that I have. So it's just awesome. So yeah, that's me. I'm done. Hot beverage. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. Bye.